Hey, I didn't get much sleep last night. There's been some stuff going on in the house, so I'm going to make today's video short, but I'm also going to try to make it informative. I wanted to talk about the future things you have to look forward to in Knights of Valor, because I've been getting a lot of questions about it. I've been getting people coming into my stream that I've never seen before asking about the future content. So first off, I'm going to go through the cash shop here. So the first thing you're going to notice is all these scantily clad women. You're wondering which characters these are. These are actually like gender swap characters. Like all the male characters have gender swaps. You know how these MMOs work. You know, you do stuff like that. It makes instantly more money than... Look at Zhu Chu. He looks like a badass. Like no one's going to buy that. They're going to buy Ma Chao in a bikini. So they have a bunch of these. There's a bunch of costumes we don't have access to. There's this Western one for SSX. There's a Wang Yi one. You can see a bunch of the missing characters as well. I'm gonna go through them in the actual game. Got Zhang Fei's Hulk. SSX is some kind of Black Widow wannabe. Some of the costumes are actually pretty cool, but it seems like they're just focused on these bikinis and gender bend stuff that I guess makes more money. Everything else is pretty much the same in terms of like the Goshiki stones, the Reforged packs, the little starter packs they have. Those are all pretty much identical. I'm curious what this one is. Oh, I guess I couldn't buy this even if I, for some reason, wanted to, because it has, I guess, Ma Chao included already. But these costumes tend to come with little extra bonuses. Like, if I ever decided to play this Taiwanese version again, I'd probably get this costume, because this actually makes her look like, I don't know, a little bit more of a warrior, instead of wearing, like, a really loose bra. So you get 6 hero spirits, which is really good for promotions. 30 regular spirits, which is good as well. 3 skill scrolls, which will give you a total of 6 SP, and you get the costume. So that's actually not a bad deal. You get a bunch of extra stuff with it, and all the other ones are pretty much the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into the game right now and try to speed this up a little bit. There's a lot to cover, and I'm pretty tired, so. Try to get this done in a timely manner. So there's a total of 15 characters in this version, and like I said before in my last video, the guide video that I did, they don't do any kind of content roadmap for this. Like basically they'll put up like a YouTube trailer for the new character or whatever the new content is, like maybe not even a week before it comes out, and then they just kind of do a maintenance and it appears on the server. It's not like other action MMOs where they make like a huge deal out of a character. Like Closers right now has the shield lolly or whatever. Like you can pre-create her and claim your name and stuff, and they're like giving you all this crazy gear and shit for for making the character. They don't do that on this game. It's very very low key, very lax. You know, they kind of just announce it and then it comes up in a couple days. So I have no clue what the future holds, but I'll go ahead and I'll show a bunch of the content that's not in the US version or the international version. Now when they announced the international version, I was pretty quick to stop playing this one because of mainly because of the markup when you play you use like Play Asia to buy the cash shop cards. Like for instance, like the characters are $15 flat on the international one on the US PSN store, and here like to buy that same item it would cost me almost $20, like including tax and the markup. So it adds up pretty quickly. So unfortunately, like I said, this game is very dependent on making alts. It's a pretty common thing with most action MMOs like DFO. Encourages you to use alt because of the fatigue system. Previously, the assist system, which they just removed recently. Being able to run raids more and stuff like that. In this game, basically, all of the endgame content, when you die with one character, you can bring in another one. It's a little bit different from like the arcade beat 'em ups that this tries to emulate. You can't continue with the same character until you're completely out of characters, so it's actually really beneficial to have more than one character. And since I really only have this one, past the cap, I decided it really wasn't going to be a big deal for me to start over. And this was before I got the partnership. I am in negotiations with them to get more bonuses so that I can kind of get back to where I was, on this version. But you can see my gear is not that great. I have some gear for drop rate, which has definitely helped me to get some of this other stuff. I have 2 yellow pieces of armor. And I have this, which has aerial attacks. It inflict 33% extra damage, which is obviously really good on her. Some extra defense. And you can ignore enemy defense. This is the dark weapon. This is what you need to kill Zhang Yu. And I believe I got this from the event that you just... I think it was a leveling event. When you got to a certain level, they just gave this to you. And I got lucky and it had a 12% chance to break foes' super arm when using regular attacks. So even like a lot of the armored enemies, even the bosses, you can really stagger them a lot. It's quite fun. I don't have a mercenary on this version, so I would have to go buy the wishing tickets or wait for an event, roll and get lucky. So it's actually, in some ways, I'm a little bit better off on the international version than on here. So I'm going to go ahead and show the little preview videos for the other characters. It should only take a couple minutes, so I'm just going to go down. Here's Ma Chao. This is the only relatively new character that I have, aside from SSX. Now, I've done an overview on him, I think late last year, so you can check my playlist if you want to see that. His moveset's alright. He kind of controls a little awkward. He has the whole mechanic where he summons the animals. It takes a little getting used to. Well, I don't know anything about the other characters for the most part, so I'm just going to play their videos. So I think they've added 3 or 4 characters this year. So probably starting next month, and maybe we'll hear something about the next characters. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't seem like they have that many people playing, but obviously the game, you look at the assets, like the assets are not that great. The character models are pretty, they pale in comparison to the original sprites from the, the other older Knights of Valor games. It can't cost them that much to make. But I think people go crazy on the whaling on this. I mean, I probably spent like maybe $70 on this game, roughly. And you saw my account, I've got a bunch of patchwork gear and some really underleveled characters. I could definitely spend much more if I wanted to, but now that it's available, in the country I actually live in, it's going to be a lot easier for me to use the cash shop. And if I'm able to negotiate with them to get more compensation for my work making these videos, then that's going to make it even better. Now, I don't know what the release schedule is for the international version, but as you can see, I'm on the Taiwanese version right now, my Taiwanese PSN account, and everything's already in English. So the translation's already done. It's probably just a matter of importing it into the game, which is usually not as easy as people think. They're obviously on a different client. It feels a little bit like the US version of Closers. Like, that has a lot of content like locked away that you can't access in the client. Like, a lot of the buffs and stuff are from recent balance changes on the Korean version. That's kind of how the client is on the international version. Like, SSX did not originally have those sonic booms on her second and third S-string attack on her up and square. That was added later on as a means of kind of buffing her and giving her more damage. Now, Wang Yi, she has some kind of mechanic with her shield. I guess she gets pissed off and she gets some buffs, but like I said, I have not been playing during any time where they've had her on trial, so I haven't played her. I played Huang Gai for a little bit. He seems kind of fun, but once again, I only got him to level 2, so I can't really comment on how he plays or his performance or anything. can see pretty much every character this year has been power type, so I'm thinking they're probably going to focus more on skill and speed types in the next batch of characters. So apparently he's like the most mobile mage ever. He actually looks kind of fun, even though the skill type characters don't really look like they're, you know, usually what I play, like my style or a cup of tea. But apparently he's pretty fun. If they do a free trial, they're going to be doing maintenance today, so a lot of the events should reset. I'll definitely let you guys know, and I'll turn out a video for him. Well, like I said, I only have one decently geared character, so it's actually not that big of a deal for me to start over. Especially since they gave me, you know, SSX. I think I paid like 20 bucks for her or something. That's already a pretty significant amount of how much I paid. But here's Zhang Fei. Alright, that's it for the new characters. So right now they've got the Spectre Claw. I don't know anything about that summon, but that's the current rare one at the moment. Everything else is pretty much the same. They just have some of the added materials for the Expedition mode, which I'm about to get into shortly. And for the silver one, pretty much the same stuff, nothing's really changed here. Now in terms of the moveset and skills, when you break the level cap every 10 levels, you get a final 4th level for your 4 main supers. Now I haven't got to the point where you can use that, but it heavily depends on you doing the events and playing time mode and expedition mode to get skill scrolls to afford these, because I think you only get like 1 SP every single time you level. What's called limit breaking past level 60. So you definitely have to play all the content, you can't just play the regular levels. Now some characters get like complete new moves when they level up, or when they limit break. I think Zhao Yun has one if I remember correctly. Costume's pretty awesome, by the way. I went ahead and bought this on the US version. I've actually leveled him close to the cap on the Chinese version. See, he's got this new move here, but you have to get to level 85 for it. That's nice. It's a little something different from like games like DFO, where the past couple level caps, they haven't really had any. But the last level cap increase they added didn't really bring any new moves. You pretty much just got new damage for them, which is kind of boring. Here they increase the level cap 40 levels, and they do have some nice incentives for getting that far. I don't think anything is different in time mode. The Expedition Championship is an event I don't know much about. I think it's temporary, so I'm not going to go into that. But they've added 2 extra areas. And you can see they drop really good level 60 equipment. So if you're at level 60 right now and you're bored, you're not really getting much gear, you can see there's a pretty big drop off in the gear quality. Like, see, you can only get purple level 60 equipment, and area 6 drops to yellow. So if you're bored and you're just kind of running 5-4 over and over, what I recommend doing, whether you have the currency for it or you want to grind for it, is leveling up other characters, because that's really going to help you in expedition mode. You'll definitely need more than one character unless you get lucky and someone carries you, which obviously when they add all the content into the game, I don't think anybody's going to be at that level anytime soon unless they whale. So I recommend just leveling up a bunch of other characters. You do start with 2. You get Zuo Chi for beating Insane Mode, so you'll always have 3 no matter what, even if you don't spend any money on the game. There's also the social media event they have right now, which I recommend you all do, which basically you just record yourself finishing a level, and then you contact their social media on Facebook or Twitter, and the social media rep will give you 300 Goshiki stones in your mailbox. That's about halfway towards one of the older characters like Xiao Yun, and then you can grind the rest out through achievements, and you can get 4 characters to rotate with without spending any real money. Now, Area 7, I don't know much about. I was not even aware this was added. I just tried 7.1 earlier. And this drops a level 74 equipment on hard, so now you can do a little bit of expedition mode grinding and then go into hard mode here and help to gear up for Insane. But I don't even have the rest of that unlocked. Now there's rabbit challenges. You'll be able to get carrots. What the carrots do is they allow you to get into these other 2 modes. This first one just has a bunch of silvers and ethereal crystals, like it says. The other 2 give you skill scrolls and character spirits. So these are really good to get. You should definitely use your carrots as soon as possible because they're going to help you promote your characters and get more SP. So we'll go ahead and check time mode really quick. So they have some different costumes in here than the US version. This one looks pretty cool. These are the old school costumes from the original arcade games for those of you who haven't seen or played them. So they're definitely more nostalgia based for, you know, the native audience, the people in Asia, and more specifically Taiwan and China that played those games. But they have some cool winged general ones as well. You can also get Zhang Fei by grinding out time orders. I think everything else is pretty much identical. So I'm going to go ahead and show Expedition Mode right now. That is the meat of the endgame, and you will need the Dragon Fruit Seeds, or whatever they're called, to level up past 60. You can't even go in with an underleveled character. Alright, there we go. Let me make sure I'm topped up on stuff here really quick. Like I said, I'm at a pretty significant disadvantage because I don't have a assist or mercenary at the moment. It makes it very difficult for me to be competitive on this version. If they add another cool character, then I definitely will come back, but for now I'm just gonna keep it as is. So here's my final build for SSX. For the first talent, I went for attack plus 10%. The second one, I went for the extra damage during Fury mode, which means you're just going to do more damage during bosses, basically. Attack damage plus 15%. Increase stamina meter by 2 bars. Extra super meter. Meter is actually really useful. And then attack plus 20%. So it's a random chance for the Dragon Seeds to drop, and you need those along with Hero Spirits and Character Spirits, if I remember correctly, to level up once. So it's a pretty significant grind to get anywhere past level 60. I definitely want to give them some feedback and tell them to maybe reduce the grind a bit, but I don't know, maybe the drop rates have been altered. But when I was playing this, when I got SSX to the cap, it was pretty frustrating. see how often I'm breaking their armor because of the proc chance I have on the weapon. APC doesn't want to cooperate, he's just like not staggering. See how weak I am. Of course it does this when I'm recording. I don't think I have that many items either. Yeah, see, I didn't get one there, but every 5 levels by IRC you get one. Get a chance for one. Alright, getting closer to the end of the first checkpoint. When you level up SSX's ladder jump to level 3, it creates a little sonic boom when you do the jump. Do fun stuff like this. Alright, almost there. There we go. No, it's not supposed to be that much of a struggle. My character's kind of using patchworky gear, and like I said, I don't have a mercenary, which would like really speed that up. Also pretty low on items as well. I got one piece of gear for that. One spirit, 2 Goshiki stones, which isn't bad, and a bunch of crafting stuff. That's basically the end game. You can see I didn't get one of the seeds there, but you need those to level up. And like I said, if I die on the next screen or the next checkpoint, then basically I have to sub in another character, and since I don't really have any other good characters, it makes things a lot more difficult than intended. So like I said, definitely you might want to wait for Area 6 to start really gearing up your character, but if you're bored of just doing 5-4 to grind out money and try to get some decent gear, I definitely recommend making some other characters, because that will definitely help with expedition mode. It'll give you you know, way more chances to get farther, to make it easier for you to get carried and carry others, and you'll have more chances for gear, so it's like a win-win-win situation. That's basically the gist of what they've added in the Asian version that's not present in the international versions. If you guys have any other questions, you can let me know, but just be warned that I may not be able to answer them simply because I have not really played this version extensively for several months now. So a lot of this stuff I kind of had to get a crash course on while I was busy, you know, when I came back to the game and stuff. That's basically all there is to it. There isn't really a whole lot else. If there's more events more characters, or they do a free trial for the characters I haven't tried yet. I'll definitely keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching. Peace.